We often get the question, how do I negotiate with an insurance company? Well, I think most people can understand we don't want to tell you how to do our job, and part of our job is negotiating cases with insurance companies for our clients. But I do think the question is valid for many people who call us because they're talking about low value claims or their property damage claim. If you've been in a car accident and you're trying to negotiate with the insurance company about your car, then that's something most people can do for themselves. You don't really need a lawyer, and you can't afford, quite honestly, to pay a lawyer to do that, because if you have to pay a lawyer out of the money you get for your car, you don't have enough money left to go and replace your car. And then the other thing is some injuries are just honestly very minor. You've been hurt, someone's caused your injury, but you go to the doctor a couple times, you're okay. Do you really need a lawyer for that? Probably not. So let me give you a few tips for if you're going to try to negotiate your own claim for what you need to do. First, understand the insurance adjuster works for the insurance company, does not work for you. And if they're being nice to you and you love to deal with them, understand they probably gotten that way because they're good at their job, and they know if they make have a good relationship with you, they've got a better chance of getting you to sign the paperwork. Doesn't mean they're lying to you, doesn't mean that they're going to do anything dishonest, but just understand they're not on your side and that you're negotiating with an adverse party and treat it accordingly. Second is understand there are time limits, so don't take too long doing this. If you're trying to settle your own claim and you wait too long, if you miss a time limit, then the insurance adjuster may say, sorry, I can't help you because the time's up. So understand their time limits, learn about the time limits. And the final thing is to get the right amount of money, it's about documentation. If there's damage to your car, then you're going to have to provide estimates, good documentation to an insurance adjuster, and understand that for property damage claims, normally they owe you what your car is worth, not what you owe on it. So that's the biggest thing we see with property damage claims, is that people owe too much on their car. They owe $10,000 to the bank on a car that's only worth $6,000. The insurance company doesn't have to pay off your loan. They just have to pay the value of your car if your car is totaled. That's a tip to remember. But then the other thing is come back to documentation. If you're hurt, provide documentation about the injuries and provide documentation about property damage. Insurance adjusters have a boss. They all have bosses. They have to have documentation. They can't pay you normally if they can't prove what they're paying you for. Final thing is, remember, if you're settling a personal injury claim, when you sign a release, it's a full and final release. That's it in almost all cases. We have been called many, many times over the years by somebody who settled their case, but turns out, well, they were hurt a little bit worse than they thought, or a lot worse than they thought. They thought they'd get better, but they haven't. Now they want us to look at it. If you have signed a release that says a full and final release, and you signed it, sent it back to the insurance company, almost always that's going to be a valid agreement. If you're over 18, you're entitled under the law to do that for yourself. So if you sign the paperwork, you're probably going to have to live with it. So think twice and be careful when you sign the paperwork. Make sure that that's really what you want to do. Good luck.